Please stand as you are able. And in the name of the Father, and the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Remember, O most gracious Virgin Mary, that never was it known that anyone fled to thy protection, implored thy help, or sought thine intercession with life and aid. Inspired by this confidence, I fly unto thee, O Virgin of Virgins, my Lord. To thee do I come, before thee I stand, sinful and sorrowful. O Mother of the Word incarnate, despise not my petitions, but in thy mercy hear and answer. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. I believe we are checking off 7 and 8 for 6C-3. So go ahead and take it out. Oh, okay. So we did not, I don't remember assigning any new homework, right? Okay. Take out your notes, please. Perfect.
Are we going to have time to
Even better. Hopefully. Some of it is dependent on the notes we had the other day. I'm going to refresh your memory. This is on Arclength. The arc length of a function piece just a moment. The arc length of a piece of f of x is this. The integral from a to b of radical 1 plus f prime of x parentheses squared dx. Do memorize that at first opportunity. Yes.
Do you think it's possible to put the iPad like that?
Oh, maybe. Oh, that's right. It probably can't. Maybe. I gotta glare this way, but let me. I'll see what I can do.
Have the iPad face us. Oh yeah, can it be behind us? And it can just film us.
No. But thanks for asking. No, it's talking to him. You're talking about filming people. Like that kind of defeats the purpose. It loses resolution if I go way back there. Maybe let me see if I can go to the left of you. Julia, I hope I don't make you seasick by doing this. Just close your eyes for a second. And I hope the iPad doesn't fall, please God, because it's a little on the expensive side. Okay. It should work. It's a little slanty, but we're good. All right. Please write this down in your notes. You should be writing this down about 4 or 5 times to burn it in your brain. The arc length of a piece of f of x is the integral from a to b of radical 1 plus f prime of x squared. So you take the derivative, then you square it, then you add 1, then you take the positive square root of it, then you take the antiderivative. It's a bit of a circus, but it does work. Note, this is almost never a quote-unquote nice, I can spell this, answer. As far as we're concerned, the calculator is required. And the answer, I'll say the approximate answer to the nearest 10,000. Anybody tell me how many decimals that is? 4, correct. That's kind of standard. Michael, do you want the stool? I got that. I mean, you're fine. It's like, just, I'm a little scared that if one little wobble and it goes crash.
No, that's cool.
Okay, yeah. It's up to you, no worries. Let's try an example. Find the length of f of x equals x cubed minus x on the interval from -2 to 2. To the nearest 10,000. Grab a calculator, you'll need them. How do you set it up? It's not that hard to do. I just want to make sure everything is typed in correctly. I would strongly suggest when you take the derivative and square it, simplify it first. It'll make your job typing it in much easier. I've seen some people try and type this in just a long way with parentheses and then the derivative of blah, 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 blah. And then the more pieces there are to type in, the greater the chances you're going to make a typo. And the greater the chances your answer is going to be wrong. So, step me through this. What do I do first? What does this thing need? Can somebody set it up for me? The integral from what to what, first of all? Max.
-2 to 2.
Yeah, from -2 to 2. Of, what would I write next? Just to set that.
Oh, x cubed.
Before that. Like this thing.
Oh,
Radical?
radical. 1 of x squared. 2x.
Yeah. What's up front?
3x squared.
Okay. Is that it?
Minus 1.
-1, correct. Is everybody okay with that? That's old hat, hopefully. Taking derivatives. You put that here. 3x squared minus 1 parentheses squared. That should be decent to type in. If you're feeling nervous about this, expand this out. Square the first, double the product, square the last. You don't have to. But we're not going to get an exact answer. If you try and convert it to fraction, it will not be very cooperative. But try your best. Type it in. I'll just let you type it in as is and see who gets it.
After the plus, after the plus, or after the 1.
Oops. As soon as somebody has an answer, and feels brave enough to share it, I'll write down the possibilities here. If we all get the same thing, so much the better. That's a good sign, theoretically. There we go. What is it?
32.2490.
2490. Any other candidates?
I got 14.8273.
That's what I got. Yeah, me too.
Any other candidates?
I got 56.
56 point what?
Just 56.
56 even?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Any other candidates?
Oh. Never mind.
Okay. Anything else? Going once, twice. Okay. I got this. Now, just out of curiosity, if you have a new calculator,
Wait, I haven't.
you will still need parentheses around these before you square it, and you'll have to make sure that everything's underneath the radical. To get out of the radical on the new calculator, you have to hit the right arrow to escape out of the radical. If you hit the right arrow early, you might be typing the squared outside, which might be just canceling the square and the square root. That's one possibility. Does anybody else get any other answers? I want to take a look at your calculator and see what happened. everybody go this over? I think, no, I need to get that.
Playing around with it.
Okay. Just because I'm paranoid, there is I told you about this, right? There was Wolfram Alpha. What's that?
I forgot to put in a radical.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then I forgot to put in x squared. So, they were wrong.
Really evil. So I really.
What did it add? Oh, you did that.
Yeah, it's 14.8273. This is why we don't have access to internet for this problem. Wolfram Alpha, what I literally typed was arc length of y equals x cubed minus x from x equals -2 to x equals 2. I hit enter and bam, and it did it.
Oh, that's what I did. I
Good.
forgot, but I did 3 squared instead of 3x squared.
Got it. Okay. Questions? So at least in theory, it's not hard to do. It just needs to, all the numbers, all the parentheses, all the powers, all the everything have to be in the right spot. Now, your assignment, which I'm going to give you plenty of time to hammer away at, I do want to guide you through a little bit of problem number 1.
Today is not
Caution.
Has anybody not seen the teacher?
Has anybody not seen the teacher at the front of the room getting your attention?
Nope.
Nice to see you. It's a great movie, you should catch it. Now, problem number 1, take a look at the worksheet. Problem number 1. It says 2 things you should note. First of all, find the length of the arc from 1 to 4. Calculate an exact answer for this problem and leave it in radical form. That means 2 things. Number 1, you have to do it by hand. And number 2, the calculator will not help. If you tried it on the calculator, it would give you a decimal, and it would be wrong. So it would be right up to a point, no pun intended, okay, pun slightly intended, but it would be an approximation, and I would take off major points for that on the test. Okay? Just so you know, it's extremely rare. It's extremely rare for an arc length to have an answer you can actually solve by hand. Just for reference, in case anybody wants to know, there's an actual word for that. Like, what do you call a problem you can actually solve without a calculator? It's called analytic. An analytic solution is by hand. Without a calculator. You can use a calculator if you don't, like, if your brain's spacing out and you forgot what 17 divided by 3 is. You can do that. But it's at least theoretically possible to do by hand. The other ones, not so much. Gentlemen, I would appreciate you not chit-chatting while we're in the middle of a lesson. We're not done yet. Yes, sir.
Sorry, I missed it. Is only number 1 due tomorrow?
No, the entire thing is due tomorrow. Number 1 is the only thing that you have to do by hand and give an answer that's exact.
That is the exact line.
Number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you should be able to do with the aid of a calculator. There are a few things you need to know, though. Number 3, you will have to do the derivatives by hand in order to be able to type them into a calculator. Number 3, radical x, you need to get it in derivative-friendly form. Also, number 6, you need to remember your trig derivatives. And then once you take the derivative, don't forget to square it. Michael, question?
Before I do this, are there any sneaky weird tricks that you're going to teach us in the next 2 days?
That'll make it faster? The short answer to that is probably not.
What's the long
What's the probably?
The long answer is, well, my shortcuts are famous for being longer than the actual process, so I wouldn't wait for
He always
those.
says that, and then
Yeah,
they always
it's
say
so
it
long.
takes 2 seconds.
Yeah,
As you go.
so, oh, that's funny,
Yeah, are
number
you gonna
4 is
show us
actually
in-
almost exactly like
You're
this.
gonna show us an Arclength, and, wait, I'm looking for one right now.
Is there an Arclength? Probably is.
Tell you what, I'm gonna let you, work in groups on this. I would say try number 1 first. That's the trickiest. I would like, try that while you still have human beings next to you that you can consult with and see what everybody else is doing. Believe it or not, I think that's all I have for you. I think you have a little over 30 minutes to pound away at these. If you get it all done, you have no homework for tomorrow. Questions?
Why are you moving?
Alrighty.
3
That should be it. So, Julia, you have a less of a video burden. So, God bless your health and whatever is going on. So we will, see you soon. Yeah, I don't know.
97-degree
Oh,
weather.
She's down in Florida?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. Sorry. Well, anyway, I hope you're not sick. Anyway, have a good time in Florida. We're envious of you. So this is my hand waving goodbye. Bye-bye.